Hello.
Hello.
Hello. We're all live tonight. Welcome everybody. Welcome Ian and Bri. Tonight, as you notice, I've got the avatar up tonight. I'm feeling really under the weather. I've been in a lot of pain this week. Worst pain I've actually felt this week, to be fair.
You look a bit thin in the picture. You've still got your red hair by the look of it.
You cheeky bastard. Now, everybody, thanks, Sarah Louise. Now, everybody, it was Ian's birthday the other day, so I think we should all sing him happy birthday. Oh. Happy birthday to you. You were born in the zoo. You look like a monkey. And you're English brick too. Do you like you?
Yeah. And I've got a friend who's an orangutan too.
How was your birthday, Mr. Barrow?
Very nice, thank you. Apart from I was at work, but there you go. Such is life.
Not good, that's not good being at work. On your birthday.
Nick will be joining us soon. Hi, Mark. And Sarah Louise says, happy birthday.
Never.
Nick's going to be late. That's unusual.
I know. But tonight, guys, we're just having a sort of like a kickback, I said paranormal night, but I just a sort of kickback, see how everybody's week's been and what you've all been up to, and just really what's boiling everybody's piss this week, you know, just the usual chat.
Well, yeah, as I said before, I'm just bemused and laughing at the fact that Most Haunted are now doing a stage show, which, as somebody commented, they thought it was all theatrics anyway. But there you go.
Well, it is, isn't it? Let's face it. There's no worse sort of ambassador for paranormal. It's just a freak show, basically. So, and that's me being polite.
Yeah. What's next? Zach Bagans, the stage show. Yeah.
Well, but at least he's gone down a different route. He's not quit working and all like that, but he's taking his face off, isn't he?
Hi, Joe.
Understudies, isn't he? So.
Yeah, he's got a bit quiet, hasn't he, Mr. Bagans? It's not surprising because he's being dropped in it left, right, and centre.
Exactly.
I must admit.
What do they call them two? I think they're the brother and sister. There's fronting show for him at the minute.
I don't know. I haven't looked.
They've guested before. I think they were on that one with Bobby Mackey's. He were only very young then, but he's got a few years on him now. But and he's working with his sister. They look very similar anyway. Don't quote me on that. I ain't got a clue. But it's just what I've seen in snippets. I don't watch a lot. At all.
You're talking about Dakota Leyden?
Who?
Dakota Leyden.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Yeah, because he does the show with his sister and his two best mates, doesn't he? So
that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
I must admit, I've never ever watched Most Haunted. It's not been a show that, to be fair, that I'm going to be really honest, as I say umpteen times, I'm just no into ghost shows. I'm no into. I just don't know why. I can't. I've not got enough attention span for them, and I like doing the paranormal, but I prefer to see people like yourselves just going out and doing a live. I prefer watching that rather than all these, because it's putting people shite into people's heads. I'm trying to be nice, right? But I'm just going to be brutally honest. But I don't.
It's bugged me for a long, long time, and I always mention it at practically every show. I'll sneak it in somewhere that there's a big difference between investigating and entertainment, and the two shouldn't be lumped together, but they are. It's all a big so-called happy family, and it's nothing. It's not like an happy family. Because investigators, true investigators like us, we resent entertainers, if we're honest, because they don't do us any favours.
No.
It's all about money, isn't it?
There's plenty of shows out
Eric
there that
agrees with you, Brian.
there's plenty of investigators out there, but they get that are on the shows, but they get labelled with the same thing as entertainers, which doesn't help the field at all.
Exactly.
Because,
We need a clear break, really.
yeah.
But there's nothing to define us. There's nothing to define us because we're all using same tools and same blogs and everything else. I mean, the entertainers have got money at back of them. They've got networks, TV networks, and one thing or another. Whereas we're sort of poor relations, for lack of a better explanation. We've got no resources as such. We're catching up through blogging, but it's just not enough for me. We need a clear break. We need a gentleman's agreement to say, well, whatever we do is either entertainment, for entertainment purposes, or it's an investigation. We should have that distinction.
Yeah, I heard the other day that Neil Packer has got a channel on the Roku network.
Right.
I think Barry Frankage is going in the same direction. So that could be an outlet for investigators to put their stuff on.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is why I love doing podcasting. And I never thought I would, because to be honest, when I first started out, I was really... See, if you told me, like, this is what I said to Viv the other night. If you told me, like, last year I was going to be podcasting and having Fright-ners and how well it's going, I would have probably laughed in your face and said that you're talking shit. And, you know, it would be... I think everybody's going into networks now. Everybody that's podcasting is going into networks. And, I mean, as I said, the best thing to have in networks is like different varieties, you know, no having the same thing, no having the same paranormal, like I've got the crime show, obviously, you know, having different, like, talking maybe about cryptards, or maybe doing lives, like when they're out investigating, you know, streaming it off a network, so people, no harm, right, to MD that, you know, does investigations and lives. But sometimes I've heard that you've got to pay for just to watch it. Whilst in this network, if people are doing lives, it's free if I can charge. You know what I mean? You can basically watch it, you know, and everybody, you know, panics when obviously they miss the shows, and it's like I keep saying to them, it's always going to be there. Whenever you feel like coming in, just come in and watch it. You know, it's free charge. You're not going to get, you know, charged for thingy. And I think as well, you know what? These people follow you. This is what really boils my piss, right? Is people that charge for viewers to watch their stuff. These people are following you. We're in the middle of cost of living, ken what I mean? At the end of the day, if you had any respect for your followers, you wouldn't be charging them for it.
Well, exactly. There's actually, I only know one group, to be fair, but it is different. I don't agree with it whatsoever, because they advertise for members. What they don't say is that you're going to be paid, you're going to be charged to be a member, and everything that you attend is going to be charged. So it's not really a paranormal group for me as such. It's like a subscription, basically. But you get to do it live, I suppose. You know what I mean? You do get to participate, but when it's, well, let's just face it, they're not real investigations. You know what I mean? They're paid for venues, and you've got no control over that. The group admins choose what you're doing, when you're doing it, and where. You as a member are paying for it. For me, that's not a group. That's not a paranormal group whatsoever.
Sarah Louise says, the reason I say sorry when I miss the show is that you help me and I respect you all and feel that you deserve my loyalty. Oh, Sarah Louise, that's dead sweet. At the end of the day, they're always there, sweetheart. Eric says, Neil going on line 666. Oh. The Mark Joe Show says some of those networks out there, like Roku or Paraflex, they want you to be more entertainment and Hollywood-like instead of being real and showing just what happens in investigations. I can agree 1,000,000%
Yeah.
in that one. I heard it's called Ghost Tub. Chantel in the house. Woot, 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 woot. I'm no Dan Chantel, I can't get the high pitch. Eric says we're always here to help, definitely. And this is why I love doing like what we've got, and you know, as I said, the viewers that we've got and the you people come in and join us, that's what makes me happy. See it if I'm maybe the last person that they see at night, or just that person that cheers them up. You know, I'm happy to do that without a shadow of a doubt, and that's what it's all about for me. Is making the viewers happy, give them what they want, give them what they want to see, you know, and it's good that they can see us the way that we are. We're no fixatious, we're being real.
You see, you mentioned earlier that about genres, and I think that actually doesn't do us any favours. There's that many different genres, like we were saying. There's UFO, there's cryptid, there's para, just spirits, ghost hunters. Every one of them has got a counterpart in entertainment, and it's deciphering which is entertainment and which in. I mean, common sense would say there's a lot of people only have access to TV, so they watch. And they watch. They don't really know how to, because like you were saying, 12 months ago, I wouldn't have been doing this. I've only had my group, my page and everything 2 years. It's been an eye-opener, and it's nothing that I would have considered doing it if it weren't for my son that said, get with it. So I've got with it, and I've followed the trend in that respect, but I resist wholeheartedly the urge to be an entertainer, which I suppose in a way I'm doing that now. I'm doing it, but I'm trying to spread that word through it that I'm an investigator, not an entertainer.
Yeah,
even though I'm entertaining.
I've pretty much been the same. I mean, I've done one documentary in about 20 odd radio shows around the world, but I sort of avoided being in the limelight because of basically because private cases, you don't really show anything. But as you say, when we are doing things like this and you are on the radio, you are educating people, which is sharing your experience, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's always a plus.
Definitely. How many viewers have we got, Lewis?
Well, I can't really say offhand because I don't know. I can't get in.
Hasn't come in yet.
I know. He's put me off my. See, guys, what I've got to put up with. He puts me off my stride. I would say our show's doing really well. Really, really well. Do you know what, guys? I've always said, right, see, even if we get one viewer, right, I'm happy enough with that. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that I'm all good with that. But as I said last night to Viv, I was praising you guys to the high heavens.
Were burning.
Aye, it was me talking about you. I was praising you to the high ends and saying that honestly don't know what I would do without you guys because you're really, really good. I says even that English dick, I says he's pretty good too. If I wasn't looking so shit, I would give you the finger back. So spiritually, I'm giving it right now to you. You just can't see it.
Yeah, I can sense it though.
I am glad you can. Rab says, I watch all these paranormal things. You can see who's real and who are fakes.
Yeah.
Eric says, mine's on my side only says 5. It says 7 in mine. Hi, Joanne. Jan says hi.
Hello.
Annette says, it would be brilliant to hear about the private investigations, even with names and locations removed.
Yeah. Yeah, I do plan on sort of going through the files one day, and I mean there are a few I remember that you can't forget because they were so active. But yeah, I'm very open to do that with changing
Late as usual.
and all that.
He's late as usual. We'll see him about maybe 8:45, 9 o'clock.
He's probably for good.
No, he hasn't. To be fair, he did put in the chat that he was going to be a little late because he's on the phone.
Yeah,
Ian, here's a question for you. Do you never do the first team I ever went with, right? What they did was they used to write up a report, like, you know how, like, they would put, obviously, the location, if it was, well, obviously, if you didn't feel comfortable disclosing it, just put an undisclosed location, and then they would put the team members who were there, and they would do a report on it. I think they're dead good. I loved reading them.
Yeah, I do full reports, and it takes me bloody hours to do it because I go through everything and write it down by hand on a notebook, and then I have to type it all up, which takes forever because I'm not a typist.
Yeah,
I'm probably one of the fastest 2-finger typists there is, but I certainly can't type really quick. Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say something, but you'll just punch me in the chops.
For me, I do all sorts, and I mean all different types of investigating. It depends. Every single case and every single film I do varies. Most of the time of late, I'm a single sort of guy at the minute. So solo investigations, and I'm doing churches and one thing and another. Just do a little bit of random history. Being an environmental psychic. Now, prove that today, actually. It's a good point, this. Somebody posted something on my page, on my group page, saying that they were feeling something from this. All it were a picture of this banking with a tunnel. And they asked me what I got from it. And I got it spot on because I told them, I didn't think, they said that they thought it was a station. I said, it's not a station. I don't feel that it's a station whatsoever. I says, I'm drawn to entrance for some reason. And they said, right, the information they'd got was there was a smell coming from it. I says, well, it's not a station. I says, Google it, because you know the location. Obviously, I don't. Google it, and you'll find out what that area was. They did, got back to me, and apparently it's the entrance to a mine. So the smell is mutated. Well. So I got it spot on, which pleased me. But this is what I'm saying. I'll do anything like that. I'll do online on my group stuff. I'll do personal investigations. I'll do public investigations. I've done a few things. I've done a business, a chip shop, for example. Turned out that one was a not fake, because there was activity, which they were surprised at. They didn't expect it. But it was a fraud as such, because the guy that asked us in were looking for publicity, which I jumped on straight away. That was personality. That weren't anything paranormal whatsoever. That's using intuition and knowing what crack is, basically, with any given investigation. And there's people that are out there that are lonely. And they want a conversation. They're not getting any attention whatsoever. So again, it can turn out to be paranormal, but not what they thought. not what they were wanting.
Yeah, we've had a couple of situations like that where you go in and they don't seem to realise that we'll walk in and we'll know if anything's there straight away.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And even if something's been in there that day, you can still pick up the residuals.
Oh, there's that notorious DICK.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, boy. In fact, I'm sure somebody said, "Is Nick out on a date again?" He is.
Out in the woods.
No, it was because I was at work, so that's why.
Oh, I want to say a big thank you to you and Rosie last night for stepping in when I wasn't in a lot of pain last night.
I really wish it could have gone longer than 20 minutes. That had been probably our shortest show I think we ever had done. But unfortunately, like I told you on the phone,
No,
I had to go to a wake.
No, darling, listen, I much appreciate what you do. Honestly, I don't care if you've done 10 minutes. At least, a day. I really appreciate what you've done. Right, we quickly run through these comments because they're building. Robert says, all these witches that were burnt, I don't think they were witches. I'll come back to that one, Robert, in a minute. I love accounts of the private investigations. I love a lot of the places that you go, Bri. Hiya, Lauren. Bri, the only frightening was his prices. Lauren says, hi, Nick. So does Sarah Louise. Annette says, we've heard that excuse before. He was too busy playing with that gorilla glue. Right.
It's not even actually just work. I haven't really been feeling the best myself today. I had a really bad headache this morning. It's gone now. It's gone now, but it's been leaving me rather drained. So I'm actually lucky enough to have the strength and energy to do this. So I'm pretty exhausted still.
Well, if you want to slink off, don't be shy. Eric
I'm fine right now.
I have a weird question. Is £100 an hour a lot of money? Now, what are we talking about here, Eric?
Shouldn't be charging any money for investigations whatsoever.
Right.
Unless you're paying for it yourself, you're doing a venue, which I don't do anyway. I've never been.
That was an investigation. What are you going to get in an hour?
I know, it's ridiculous. Going back to what Robert was saying, all these witches that were burnt, I don't think any were witches. I know, Robert, some of them weren't. I think it was really based on if they didn't like you, then they would just say that just for a reason to kill you. But yeah, witches were treated really shitly back then. But now
they were healers basically, but there were some actual what they would class as witches. I mean, what is a witch?
Yeah.
How do you define a witch?
I mean, what they got to realise back in those days, a lot of witches were what you were classed as a pharmacist these days.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Healers.
So,
especially Wiccan.
Yeah, and they were doing more good for the community than bad. So,
yeah. Wiccans were herbalists. Wiccans are still herbalists.
Yeah.
You should see the herb. You should see the herb that I've got because Stephen bought me a box of a load of herbs, and do you know I've not actually ever used them. They're still perfect in the box.
Spiky leafed.
Yeah, man.
No, actually, you prick. It's mugwort, and guess what? It's getting put in your tea.
I don't think so. You're out of luck there, girl.
Yeah, man. Get the edibles
out. And see, when you start seeing unicorns, don't come to me.
I'm not on your medication, Lois, so I won't see unicorns.
So, let's ask the questions, Mr. Late Boy. What you been up to?
It's been relatively quiet for the most part for me. I mean, I've been working on more of my presentations for more Nick Files episodes, and actually, I'm heading out of town tomorrow just for a day trip. I'm heading down to Starved Rock for a paranormal event that they're having. It's not an investigation, but just like a small paranormal conference. So, first one for me for 2023. So, looking forward to it. But aside from that, it's been relatively quiet.
And when you got pending to come over here, then, because I know Viv and Dan's been on your case.
Right. I'm always up for it. And I'm always trying to do everything in my power to come out there. So I'm still working on it. I promise you guys that.
Well, don't forget
Right, well,
Rick wants to come over as well.
Well, I better get the rope ready, Nick, because you ain't no going back to America. And it says, yes. And it says, yes, all day pharmacy. Eric says, when I look for my place in Scotland that I want to have activity, I want to hire someone to follow me around to tell me what kind of activity there is. And hi, Rhea. How you doing, love?
Rhea.
Good evening.
Trust me, Eric, in the UK, our activity is pretty good. So I don't think you'll need someone to tell you.
No, definitely not.
Definitely.
Check this out, what Lauren said. I didn't know she had ancestors on the UK. Yeah, you had ancestors on the UK, Lauren.
Wonderful. Ooh.
Whereabouts, Lauren?
That's awesome.
What about the fact that these places, right? What do you think about the places, right, that get knocked down? Should they be rebuilt? See the ones like, say, for example, like I'm going to use serial killers for example, right? Their houses get knocked down, like Fred and Rose West, for example.
Yeah.
Like they get knocked down, right? But they never ever get rebuilt.
The thing is, the area is still there. The area is still, just like Nick will testify to this. A lot of areas that may be notorious modern-wise, when you look into it, the history is native history, Native American burial grounds and such. The most activity is in those areas, so they're always going to be there, no matter whether they're done away with and built over. That area is still going to be active because it's land.
If Fred West's old house is haunted by his victims, then knocking the house down is not going to change anything.
Exactly.
Definitely not.
The energy is still going to be there.
In midair. Sometimes you'll see a spirit in midair and you think, what's that doing hovering 30 foot up? Well, obviously, because at some stage in time, there was a building there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been demolished.
I'm still feeling really sore, Rita, without a doubt. I'm feeling absolutely horrible, but that's why I've got the camera off, because I don't want everybody seeing how rough I look.
So shouldn't wind you.
You don't save us any other week.
Exactly.
Well, you know,
I'm telling you.
No, I was just going to say quickly, this is what Lauren was saying. So apparently she's also got ancestors from Scotland as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, see, our Scots get everywhere.
Who said you were Scottish, you dick?
Yeah, shut the fuck.
Are you? I'll tell you, Mr. Barrow, I don't know whether the first time I might meet you, if I want to hug you or put you square right in the nuts.
You'll be begging for mercy, girl.
Oh my guilty conscience. I can't answer that back because Mrs. Barrow's sitting beside you and she'll banjo me, man.
See, I ain't got a problem whatsoever.
Eric says, yep, Nick, is going to be staying in Edinburgh with me and Rita. No, he's coming to Stevenson with me.
Yeah, I hate to tell you this, Eric, but Lois will get to me first.
He's the snake
Yeah. No, it'll be the VIP treatment for her, mister.
Oh, dearie me. What, you moving out then?
This one's for you, Brian. Would learn the same.
Yeah. You've got a coat of arms to your name if you go back far enough. That's what I'm picking up from you.
It's got a tartan as well.
Hey, Jeremy. Hey,
Jeremy.
Mouse. Good to see you, Joe. I'm doing good. Doing great. How about you? How you feeling? Because I know he wasn't feeling so good earlier this week.
No, so good.
We're going to have to get you on as well, Jeremy. You need to be on the show as well.
Yeah, I've actually put Jeremy York down. But as I said, I really need to get a diary so I can get my dates fixed. But for anybody that wants to come in the show, please feel free to message either myself or Viv, because it'd be good to get all the different kinds of walks of life. That'll be a good one. Lon says I was able to go back to my 8 times great grandparents. Oh wow!
Oh, that's incredible.
Eric says Edinburgh is where we are buying the flat, and if Don's View is still for sale, that's the big place I'm buying. Oh wow!
Nice.
Edinburgh, I love Edinburgh. I've been to Edinburgh a good few times to investigate, but I've also love going to Edinburgh for the zoo. I absolutely love animals without a shadow of a doubt, especially tigers. They're my favourite.
Edinburgh, from what I've seen in the pictures and also some of the paranormal shows, it's just, from what I saw, it just looks like an amazing location. And I know most people usually point out, like when it comes to the haunted locations, they usually point out the Edinburgh vaults, but I know it's not just the vaults. There's several other, haunted locations. I mean, it's just such a city filled with history.
Yeah, it's very similar to Paris in a way, but with its underground culture. There's a lot more to it than vaults. Yeah, he's spread quite away from
the Paris catacombs. Yeah,
exactly.
You've got the cemetery in Edinburgh as well, haven't you? They had to close one of the areas because every time people went in there, they got scratched.
I know what you're talking about. Aye.
Yeah, it's where Greyfriars is, isn't it?
Greyfriars Walk. Aye.
Actually, another place as well that you need to call out is my neck of woods is in York. There's more and more places being discovered in York. A lot of them got flooded, to be fair.
Oh, really?
But there's a lot that's been rediscovered and excavated, because unlike Paris and Edinburgh, where the underground systems were just blocked off, a lot of York were filled in.
Really?
Yeah. So it goes back a lot further. There's reconnections with Templars. Got a lot of Templar activity in that area.
Well, there is one other place I know of, and this one's not underground at all. It is above ground, but it's located out in Palermo, Sicily, in Italy. What's known as the Capuchin catacombs, which it's a museum, and it's never really allowed photographs in there. Although, as far as I know, it's only ever been on one paranormal show. That was over 20 years ago. It was on a segment of the show's Scariest Places on Earth, and you walk through, and there was literally 8,000 mummified corpses lined up all over the walls. It's just incredible. It's just incredible seeing all these skeletons basically lining up again throughout the entire corridors of this museum.
Yeah, there's places coming up all over the world. I think I touched on it last time you were on with me, Nick. Alaska through through global warming and retreat at ice shelf, there's a lot becoming rediscovered.
Yeah.
I don't think we can say that things are being discovered. They're not discovered, are they? Because they were there to start with. So they're not being discovered. They're being created. They're being rediscovered.
Right.
I think that's a better analogy. What can I say? Oh, earlier you weren't on. So what's your opinion on? And I'm changing subject. AI.
AI.
Yes.
I'm not really sure what AI is, though.
It's artificial intelligence.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure that. It's been a long time since I've heard of that pronouncement, so I'm not. That's why I didn't think of it at first. It's a really. Oh man, I wish I had a little bit more time to think this over right before I came on.
We'll put you on the spot, Nick.
Yeah. Come back to me on that one. I'll get back to you on that before the end of the show.
Time to research. We're just going to throw it at you.
Yeah.
Jeremy says one of these days I will. I'm usually busy during this time of year, every day. That's fine. Just whenever, Jeremy. Yeah.
No, don't come in on soon. Don't come in on it at all.
Yeah, Bri, your minister is over 1,000 years. Kelly's saying hi and asking how you are. Elon Musk says beware of AI. Exactly. I don't like Elon Musk, to be honest.
I'll be honest. I used to like him, but I don't now.
I'm mixed. He's one of his own, isn't he? Let's face it. He's not influenced, which is what I do like about him. He's not influenced by anybody because he doesn't have to be. Right. He doesn't have to be influenced. So he's got his own personality. Some of the things he comes out with are way out, and some of the things he comes out with make sense. So yeah, I'm mixed bag with that guy. Mixed bag.
Right.
Well, he was smart enough to use Tesla's technology, wasn't he? So.
Oh yes.
Yeah, he was that smart. Sorry, on you go, Nick.
Oh no, I was just gonna say. I used to like pre-Twitter Elon Musk. I still like him now with what he's been doing with Twitter and all this other crazy stuff. So before that, I used to see him. Excuse me. I used to see him on a lot more different shows, especially associated like with National Geographic or anything like that.
Yeah. The reason why I mentioned Nick was AI is it's the contested thing at the moment. The powers that be are making it available. Now we know what they're doing. Well, they're smart people out there, such as us. We know what they're up to, but they're making AI available for nothing. What does that tell you? There was a guy talking earlier. I watched a little blog, a guy called Brian. That's all I'm going to say. And he was talking about all the things he can do with AI at the moment. He can do without any expensive equipment. We're just using his phone or his laptop or whatever. He can, due to apps and everything that's been made available, he can produce using his partner, stood off camera, using a laptop or a tablet, whatever. The AI that's available, he can train this artificial intelligent app to monitor, make pictures, and make his partner become Marlene Dietrich, if you want, and she will sound and look identical, and everything that comes out in his partner's mouth will sound like Marlene Dietrich, down to accent and everything. You would believe that woman was stood there.
Right.
That is scary.
Yeah,
because
it definitely is.
It's technology that people are using to clone people.
Yeah.
But I'm going to flip here, right? There is a positive to this, though. Can you imagine Mayor Ian's, Nick's, me and Bryce running about seriously with AI? I look at the positives. See, I look at the positives to the AI, but I hate to break it to everybody, but that's the way your world's going to be. See, I do believe that in years to come, there is going to be such things as AI, and AI is going to take over a lot of
Well, that's what they
the
want. They
world.
want in a cashless society.
Guys,
Everything's
I'll be
going
right
to
back. Sorry, I
everything-
gotta get up for just a quick sec. I'll be back in just a minute.
Yeah,
Nick,
you do.
you tell that lassie to put you down.
What's that?
Yeah,
I said, you
everything.
tell that lassie to put you down. Don't you be kissing when I'm on this show.
No, I'm just getting some water. That's it.
That's what she said.
I'll be right back.
Poor boy,
No,
gets
no,
some of
no,
the
it
time.
meant, just going down for a drink. Nom, nom, nom.
So Robert says, like his rocket that exploded, he said as long as it left the pad, everything else was a bonus.
Yeah, but we're all insured. Let's come on. He's not losing nothing really.
No, he's not. And then it says nothing is free that's of any good to us. Exactly. Eric says one thing they're doing with AI is making a translator that will tell you what your pets are saying to you.
Well, yeah.
Imagine. Right, you broke in.
Oh dear, yeah. Well, we know what our pets are saying. It's usually feed me or I want out. There you go.
Yeah.
Eris will be saying, Mum, I just don't want to leave your side even though I know I drive you fucking nuts. Imagine if our pets could tell us what they think. Oh,
Yeah, a lot would be saying, get the sod away from me.
more likely, anything AI will be military used. This is very true, Robert, but also that could be a disadvantage.
I don't think it's military at all. They don't need to use military anymore. It's all mind control. It's all what's the word? Control, basically. I mean, what's all this? We've just had that alarm that didn't work, by the way. It didn't work whatsoever because what it failed to do was recognize pay-as-you-go, which is what there's a hell of a lot more pay-as-you-go people out there than than ever before. And they failed to do that. Anybody that's registered got an alarm. Anybody that's not registered, the pay-as-you-go didn't. So there are a lot of people who don't get it. I don't get it.
I'm awful glad then, because I didn't get it either, and I thought, oh well, no way out for Lois.
But that's what they were doing. It's all an experiment. Next step is the ladders. They'll add everybody as pay as you go. Oh, we forgot about that. They'll be asking questions, and it's simple questions. You know, like when you're scrolling on Facebook and it says, oh, have you seen an advertisement for whatever? And you just, unthinking, just answer it because it's asking you a question. So you answer it. As soon as you answer it, you're registered to the powers that be.
And it says, yeah, the robot dogs in America they're bringing onto the streets. Robert says, if we had aliens, how do we communicate? We can understand some languages on Earth. This is very, very true. But how do you know that the aliens could be speaking English? They could be.
Well, they're not Scottish.
They might be able to speak English, so they might understand you, will they?
Fuck you, you asshole.
We're going to need you, Lewis. I love you because we're going to need you.
Yeah.
Listen, you bastards, you just want to sacrifice me to the aliens.
We're going to need you like Americans needed Navajo in Vietnam because they can't understand them.
This is why I love it. He's just stripped me to shreds.
I'm only kidding. You know I love you.
Oh, I know. So what's everybody's plans for the weekend? What you all doing?
I've got a case tomorrow.
Yeah, what were you doing?
Well, they've got a couple of rooms in a house that are ice cold, and their kids won't go in them. So there's definitely something going on there. But
definitely, when kids, that is a precursor. That whenever kids say,
Right, guys, I'll be back in 2 minutes.
Yeah, go on, go check on Nick. I mean,
that's exactly it. I'm making sure he's getting his fucking water. He's not ran away.
Yeah, he's in that cupboard, isn't he?
Well, he needs watering every so often. Come on to hell.
Well, I forgot now. Where you've took me train of thought. Where were no, I can't remember. Go on, chuck something at me, Ian.
Chuck something at you. Well, literally.
Yeah, whatever. I could take it. I'm a big.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, you were saying about kids anyway.
Oh, that's what it. Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to go there tomorrow. And unfortunate thing is, they live in an area quite known for witchcraft, which is a stone's throw away. And apparently, one of their kids has seen a long-haired man in a long black coat or cloak.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm thinking straight away.
Yeah. That's what I like about what you do and the way that you work, Ian. He's similar to me in a way. Research everything, not just listen to stories.
Yeah, so I like to go in blind.
Yes, me too. Me too. And like I've said, I'm more of a on the psychic side or medium side. I'm more of what they call an environmental psychic. I pick up from the ground up.
Yeah.
Regardless of modernity. Oh, hey, that's my word for tonight.
Well,
modernity.
Friday's long word, and they both missed it.
Yeah, I just work on everything around me before I even get a story, because 9 times out of 10, a story is a story. It's a personal thing, and it's how a person can make sense of it to deal with life and get on through day to day. So personality comes into it, and you've got to sort of read between the lines, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's not easy to a lot of people. They get involved too much.
No, definitely. Right. Eric says that's an awful long time to get a drink of water. I think he went to Barbados for that water. He's nipped off for the quickie. Yay! Let's all slag him, guys.
I think Nick's live from Africa. He's got to walk 5 miles to get some.
I thought I heard somebody talking about me.
Yes,
Annette's asking if you had a quickie.
I don't even know what that is.
Right, Robert says, do they not get bottled water in America?
Of course we do.
Okay, here is some of the locations of my ancestors. UK is Manchester, Chester, Lancaster, Wales. Scotland is Dundee, Inverness, Perth and Aberdeen. Northern Ireland is Belfast, Lynburn, Armagh, Stirling and Edinburgh. They're in Scotland.
Yeah, Chester. I think, have a look. Have a look, Lauren. I think you'll find that you've got a coat of arms if you go back far enough.
Bryce, Bry, we've got Robert. Robert's got you a question, Bry. How long you been waiting to say that word, lol? Dundee is all one-way streets, lol. But yeah, it's always good to find out. Do you know, I've always been curious, right, about my ancestors and things like that. And a lot of people that I know have done that ancestry. Is it ancestry.com or ancestry or something?
Ancestry,
Go to Somerset House. It's still the best. Somerset House is still the best.
I would really love to see mine. I'd be very, very interested to see who I was connected with. Nick, a quickie is what you do with your girlfriend when you don't have a lot of time.
Eric, I don't have a girlfriend.
Well, okay, I'll explain it, Nick. It's,
God.
It's Pam and her 5 ugly sisters.
I was actually going to say Nick playing with the gorilla glue.
I was actually using Gorilla Tape at work today, and I thought you used it.
Well, you know what? I actually used to have a pair of gloves. Unfortunately, I lost one of them, but I got the other glove. But they were called Gorilla Grip gloves.
Robert says he's related to Ricky Fulton, which is a Scottish comedian that died years and years and years ago.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I watched last night. Laurel and Hardy.
Oh, I love Laurel and Hardy. Bri, I was just going to say that then with your hand.
Oh, what?
There you go, Pam.
So I wonder what frequency that would have been on, Nick.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I says, I wonder what frequency that would have been on.
Yeah, I wonder too.
The quickie. Laura says, my husband has 3% Cameroon from Africa and her is whiter than white. It is funny how DNA results work.
That is true.
Yeah.
Knowing my luck, I'm probably related to somebody like Hitler or something.
Probably. You're not Scottish at all. Yeah, probably not.
Fuck you, asshole.
Probably find you're from Cambodia or something.
Listen, I'm sure somewhere in my DNA there's probably Italian because I've got a temper like an Italian.
No, that's just Celtic, red hair.
Yeah.
Listen, it's probably blonde, you bastard. Oh, I love this show. It's so funny. Thanks, Nettie.
Got to be any. Come on, it's got us on it.
I know it's a Friday night. It can't be boring.
No, definitely not.
No.
It's informal anyway. We said it were going to be informal and have a giggle, and that's what we're doing.
Yep, we do that almost every show.
I know. Our show comes.
If you've got any questions, if you've got any, serious
There's
questions.
a big black man involved.
Oh, geez, Robert.
Right.
Where?
Well, Laurie says, most of my DNA is French. I am 50%. Oh, wow.
You've still got a coat of arms, and I'm seeing, I'll tell you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing like a wheat sheaf, bunch of wheat. That's what I'm seeing. So I'll check it out.
See, basically, like with my DNA background, I'm kind of a combination of different things. I mean, I probably have said it before, but like the main ethnic background for me is that I'm mostly part Italian for my dad's side of the family and part Irish for my mom's side of the family. But
yeah, I was going to say Chicago.
Well, I was going to say there's also additional ancestry to that as well, because not as like 50-50, but just by some certain percentages. I also have Scottish ancestry, which, Lois, I know I told you about that before.
Yeah.
Along with some.
We get everywhere.
And I also have
talk about yourself, Wilson.
And then I also have some Canadian and also some French ancestry. I mean, it was really French Canada, but still you had people from France that came out. So I also have some Canadian and French ancestry.
How far back is that, Nick?
I have never really figured that out, but I've been really curious because it was really just about. I mean, for years I always thought it was just Italian and Irish that I was comprised of. It wasn't until about a year or so ago that I found out about my additional ancestry from a few other countries.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And again, even if you're in America, if you go to Somerset House, because Somerset House predates, obviously, colonies.
Right.
So you'll probably find something, but look also to slight differences in spelling.
Oh,
Because
definitely.
a lot of ancestors changed the names through history.
Definitely.
Through illiteracy.
It comes down to people not being able to spell.
Yes, through illiteracy. So that's the other big word for tonight, illiteracy.
Lois, I know that you're probably not going to like hearing this, but I'll say this: the first time that I ever announced that, I had this, this additional Scottish background, it was actually on Scott Mathewson's show, Paranormal and History.
That baldy bastard again. I'm going to have to kick him right in the balls.
What about you, Ian? How far back do you go? Or do you know of?
My mother has traced our family back to Mary Queen of Scots.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Oh.
Wow.
And we're true blue Scottish because it's MacDonald and the Andrew clan we come from.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
What era we're talking?
I don't know how far back. I'd have to ask my mum. She's gone way back.
Yeah, I think it's 16th century, that.
Yeah. We're my great uncle is Robert Tannehill, the famous poet in Paisley.
Nice one.
Well, at least that's that one and no John Tanner.
Well, my name goes back to 15th century so far.
Wow.
15th century, Prussia, which is modern day Poland. And our name changed. Originally it was Daubier, and when they started cutting heads off at royals and aristocrats in 16th, late 15th, early 16th, we did one, and we abdicated, and we've come all the way through Ireland, did a little bit of Romany Gypsy route, and ended up in England, and this is where most of his ancestry is. But we've got family in America, Australia, obviously, because we were naughty gets. Ended up but yeah, my surname, Dauber, you can find it, we're quite well known. Mark and Mindy is a Dauber, Pam Dauber. Robert in Sons and Daughters in Australia, Robert Dauber. And Paul's still acting in Australia. So yeah, we've got a few, but the other side of it is music. Music is in our roots. Most of the families that still exist have got one or more members in the family, or direct units, shall we say, that are into music. The royal family of music was a John Dauber. He was a blind ancestor of mine, and he played the piano and the trumpet, and he formed the Royal House of Music. I can't remember the exact title, but it still obviously exists today, big bands and such. I like a chortle, but I only do a bit of karaoke. But my cousin is still singing, weirdly enough. My son produces music, albeit computerized. So we're carrying on that tradition. My daughter were in a choir at school. I don't know if she's doing anything at the moment, but she loves to sing. So music's in her genes as well. I'd love to know whether it goes back to original, 15th century, whether there were any musicians or poets or whatever back in there. It'd be nice to know.
Right, I'm going to quickly run through these comments before we finish up. And it says one of my ancestries was a Punch and Judy. Man, well, that's bloody typical. Eric says, I'm only Irish and German. Eric says, Thompson started out as Tom's son.
Yeah.
Annette says, I'm a mixed bag, Scottish, Irish and Jewish. Lauren says, my grandson name on my dad's side was, I don't know how to pronounce that name.
Therial.
She married into the Eaton family. My grandmother's surname on my mother's side was Swanson, and she married into LeMay family. My grandmother's name changed over the years, so
Terrio.
Terrio finally.
That's similar to kind of like how my last name is pronounced, because it's, usually Mule, it's Mulae. But originally it used to just be Mule, but it had the little thing over the E, so for the because it's so it was Mule, which is that's where the Italian side of my last name comes from.
Yeah, that's the French side, definitely.
Oh, so Sarah Louise's ancestors came from Lithuania. Oh, interesting.
It is
You know-
fascinating. You can date and you can the Welsh, right? Because the first people that took registers, what Romans, they registered everybody they could. They wanted to sort of make colonies, obviously, and the best way to make a colony is to write everybody's name down for a start and register them.
Robert says Americans were all Irish, Scottish, and Red Indian. That's true.
Yeah, very true.
Well, did you guys know? I mean, I wish Jeremy could have been on like this since we're talking about ancestry, but did you guys know that Jeremy actually does have some Native American ancestry himself?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. It's one of those things, kind of like with how Lauren described, who was it? Her husband has 3% Cameroon from Africa. It's kind of similar to Jeremy. He's white, but he actually does have Native American ancestry to him.
Well, exactly.
Oh,
the
wow.
red man.
Yeah.
But like I was saying, the Romans annexed a lot of places, but they couldn't pronounce Welsh. And that's where all your Smiths and Sons came from, because rather than trying to pronounce the names, they would say, right, your first name is John, and that's your son, so it's John's son. Smith was a sort of abbreviation of a smithy. Whitland Daub, so you Daub, I think originally our name came from what they would call a class as a dauber, which was a person that put plaster on a wall, basically, because it describes you, what's the word? Your occupation. Because everything then were about money. Obviously, even back then, it were about money. What can you contribute? Because taxes were a big thing back then. So they wanted a penny off everybody. And they had to register you to get that money. So this is why I sort of resist registering for anything.
That's true. Right. Bri.
Yeah.
Pick a subject for next week.
Oh my gosh.
That'll do.
You put me on. I can't think of it offhand.
Well, you put Nick on the spot, so I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, hey, see this, catch your eyes.
You know I love you, really.
Yeah. No. Well, why don't we carry on genealogy and go from there?
If you want, aye, we'll do that. Well, do you want to make next week's show about AI?
Aye.
Yeah, give Nick time to research.
Yeah. See, again, I'm not real. Unfortunately, like I said, as a result of the headache I had earlier when I took the medicine that I usually take to get rid of them, it's left me kind of drained. So I haven't really been able to. It hasn't really been able to. I haven't had straight thinking today, so I'm just really drained.
What have I told you off air a million times? Stop hitting your head off the fucking headboard when you're at the quickie.
I wish I did, but that's not.
And then it says, we know the truth, Nick. See?
Yeah.
Well, if that's not enough, too, I'm also suffering from allergies right now. That's why I've been scratching my eye a lot. So
Is it that allergy to squirrels? You've been in the woods too much.
Orangutan.
No, just seasonal allergies I have. They last for about 6 weeks. I'm already up to this is only my 2nd week, so I still got another 4 weeks to go with this.
Right.
When you get down to the woods today, you're in for a big surprise.
Lord.
Nice one, Laura.
So next week, guys, is obviously, as Bryce says, we'll carry on the old subject. So that'll be our subject next week. I do realise.
I'm sorry, this isn't that what you said.
Nettie's put me off my stride. That's what happens when you go naked in the woods. I've told them about that as well.
Dutch elm disease, yes.
So I realised that we're coming to the end of the month, guys, and I was going to do a special on the Sunday, but as I was thinking,
I'm loving the comments right now.
But as I was thinking, as it's actually I've left that a bit late. So what I'm going to do is on the 5th, in fact next week actually, sorry Bri, I've just realised next Friday's the 5th. So we'll do a special, we're going to be doing a special on dementia and Alzheimer's awareness. Now recently, as you guys know, Bruce Willis has been diagnosed with frontal lobe dementia and Chris Hemsworth has been diagnosed with predisposal of Alzheimer's. So that's why he's had to take a step back from I'm sorry, I'm just reading the comment.
I just actually privately messaged you on that. I would not respond to that one because that looks like a spam.
Well, wait if I can. I don't know if I could do it that way. So as I was saying, guys, before I get distracted, I do apologise. So Chris Hemsworth was diagnosed with predisposal of Alzheimer's. So what I was thinking was I'm going to do a special and talk about obviously my experience with my gran and things like that when it came to her dementia as well. So definitely guys, it will be a hard topic, but I also want to reach out to those people that maybe gone through it or have been through it. So it will be a good show, guys, definitely, without a doubt. But everybody keep safe, always be nice to each other. You don't know what the other person's fighting with. And we will see you next week, guys. Are you guys got any last words?
Thank you for everybody that joined in. And again, if you need to carry on, if you need to sort of say something, just come on my page and send me a message anytime.
I know Lauren was going to message you more about, her ancestry to you, so I'm sure she'll eventually be doing that. I mean, I know she sent some information on the chat, but I'm sure she'll reach out to you eventually.
Yeah, she's on page, I think. She's in group, so.
Definitely. What about you, Mr. Barrow? I mean, you're just becoming 22 now, so you might as well say something.
What's that? 22 years locked in your basement? Yeah, that sounds about
right. That's a dream. That is. I'll tell you, 22 years. Oh.
Yeah.
You know what? If you guys know Eileen, though, she does Supernatural talk with us the night before. Well, Lois, I know you know her, but she said that she's going to be 24 soon. She's always saying that.
How we always like to lie about our age. But night, everyone.
Yeah, well, my sister